Hallmarkies podcast, and we are so excited to be here to talk about Meghan Markle, her movies with Hallmark, and her Lifetime movie. And it's going to be really fun. And I'm Rachel, and Amber's here.
Hi, everybody.
And our very good friend Amy Lynn Craig is here.
Hi there.
And she's our official Lifetime movie correspondent, so we needed her to get on this fun action. So we're going to talk about two movies that Meghan made for Hallmark, and then we will talk about this Harry and Meghan royal romance Lifetime movie. So it's pretty exciting. Let us know in the comments section what you think, or on Twitter or whatever, about these various films. So we're going to start out with When Sparks Fly. This was 2014. It was a summer movie. And basically, the plot is a big city journalist is sent back to her small town to write a 4th of July story and discovers the life and love she left behind are exactly what she's been missing. And so Amy, what were your overall thoughts about this film?
Okay, this is one of my new favorite Hallmark movies.
Oh, all right.
Like, hands down. I started the movie, I watched this one first specifically because her name was Amy, the character, so I was like, oh, I have to watch this one first. And then we got 5 seconds in, and I'm like, her best friend's name is Sammy from childhood. My childhood best friend's name is Sammy. They're obsessed with the 4th of July. My birthday's on the 4th of July. So I was like, this is my movie.
Oh, perfect.
I'm nowhere near as obsessed as her friend Sammy with the, love America, not that much. But I just think this movie was so fun. Up until the part, the end of the movie. Then it was, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's she broke up an engagement and then her best friend's, kind of okay with it really quickly.
Yeah.
It was they had to wrap the movie up. I was expecting there to be 20 more minutes, but there was 5. So, yeah, but it's one of my new favorite Hallmark movies. I'm in love with this movie.
Good. I'm so glad. For me, I remember enjoying this back in 2014 when I was just these movies were just candy to me, and so I wasn't really analyzing them like I do now. And there are enjoyable aspects to it, but it didn't hold up super well for me on the rewatch. It does have a lot of Hallmark cliches. It's what I like. It has totally a Save the Farm storyline with their business about to go under. It has it has the city girl getting reformed, coming back to the small town. It has the high school boyfriend. It has the bridezilla. You know how I love Insufferable Bride movies. And so it has a lot of those, and it's pick one.
It has the busy business boyfriend.
Yeah, that's right. business is that. Although he's actually a nicer-ish version of that.
He was okay.
It
also don't forget, it has the small town festival.
Yeah, the small town festival.
Yes.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. But there is some terrible green screen moments, particularly at the beginning and the end, which, wherever, if this was made in Vancouver or whatever, there's got to be lakes. Why not just shoot it in front of a lake? I don't understand.
Rachel, fireworks are expensive.
Well, but in those scenes where they're even, I guess. Yeah, but that looked terrible. They looked really bad. But, she is a charismatic lead. And it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it didn't hold up super well for me, is how I felt. What about you, Amber?
So when I originally saw this, I didn't like it. And when I went back and watched it, I was like, yep, like it even less. And I think part of the biggest problem is the main guy, Hank. First of all, Hank. But second of all, he is on Eureka, the actor, Christopher Jacot, and he does a fine job, but in Eureka, he is just this insufferable, weaselly guy. And so me trying to buy him as the lead that not only can one person fall in love with, but 2 people fall in love with, and then she's willing to almost ruin her relationship with her best friend over this guy. I was like, no. First of all, I don't buy it. And second of all, I don't really like the cheating on your people's things. And this movie was just like, well, I'm just going to cheat on my fiance / I'm going to cheat with my best friend's fiance. It was not great. I didn't like it at all.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Yeah. So Christopher Decaux, I think is his name. And he has been in a couple Hallmark movies, actually. He was in Ring by Spring. He was in Catch a Christmas Star. And he was in Come Dance at My Wedding. So this is his 4th film. And then it also has Lachlan Monroe in it, who plays the boyfriend of Meghan Markle's character. And he was just in Winter's Dream, which was not my fave. While You Were Dating, Mistletoe Promise. I think he plays the ex-husband.
Her ex-husband, yeah.
In Mistletoe Promise. He's also had, I think, 2 episodes of One Calls the Heart. And he was in The Christmas Newt. So there you go. I didn't think that Phil's character, the business boyfriend, was a terrible character. I thought that he was actually pretty nice and accommodating and like but I don't know. What did you think about, I guess, that whole dynamic? What did you think about it, Amy?
I think that because she moved away, she had this like expectation of what type of boyfriend she should have with that profession and with where she was, and he kind of checked all the boxes, but they weren't exactly compatible with each other. But he was still a nice guy, just a nice guy for somebody else. So
yeah. And like at the end, he kind of, basically says like, we were just kind of having fun together. And I don't know, for me, like I wouldn't say, I don't know, like, yes, you shouldn't be kissing somebody who isn't your fiance, but I don't know. I don't think that's quite the same as like full on out cheating, in my opinion. But
Rachel, this is Hallmark, so
yeah.
That's as much cheating as you're gonna get.
Yeah, fair enough. But she felt really bad about it, at least.
Oh, well, I mean, I killed that guy, but I feel bad about it.
But some of these Hallmark movies don't even give you that. Some of them,
I know, but like most of these Hallmark movies, it's like, oh, I have feelings for this guy that I have not acted on, so I feel bad about having feelings for this guy who has a girlfriend. Most of the time it's not, oh, I have feelings for and have kissed my best friend's fiance.
Yeah, but most of them, I feel like they actually just sort of justify it, whereas I feel like she felt really, really bad, at least. So,
yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I didn't love the movie, so I'm not like trying to justify it, I guess, but I think there was something there. And I think, because I'm not a big fan of these Insufferable Brides, but I did think it was kind of a little bit fun to see all the insane ways that she could work in 4th of July into this wedding. Like, yeah,
and the thing though is too, she wasn't being insufferable, really. I mean, she had a vision and she was determined, but she wasn't like, I don't know, like this big demanding rude person. Like she'd ask people and then they'd be like, yeah, okay. Like she didn't she demand that people do things
with all those wedding planners and with all those, like she was pretty high maintenance, pretty high demanding. And
I just feel like it's fine if you have something you want and you're like, I want this, and then the wedding planners are like, we won't do that for you. To be like, okay, bye, thanks, I'll do my own wedding.
I don't know.
Amy, where do you fall on this?
It was a little weird.
Well, I'm not saying that I like the taste. I'm just saying, do you feel like she was unreasonably bridezilla?
I don't think that people gave her a chance because there's been weirder weddings, I feel like weirder things people have asked for and they've been fine with it. I mean, but yeah, I think that the wedding planner should have at least heard her out a little bit more for what she was saying. But still, her a wedding that's red, white, geez, that's a little much.
Well, I'm not saying that it's what I want for my wedding, but But if it's what someone wants for their wedding, just because they have bad taste doesn't inherently make them a bridezilla.
Yeah.
I thought she was a little bit much for me, but she's not the worst. I agree. She's not the worst that Hallmark's had. But she was a little grating for me. But I think that it was really funny to see all the weird ways that she integrated. Like I just thought her dress was like obviously I wouldn't want that as my dress, but I was like, that was really creative.
Like, I may not want that for a wedding dress, but I would for sure be like, this is my prom dress. America, watch out.
Yeah. And the bridesmaids dresses and like I don't think I've ever seen a Hallmark movie where the bride actually picks out china. Like that's kind of a forgotten custom. It used to just be like every bride had their china set that they went to Macy's or someplace like that and they signed up and then people would buy, one serving or two servings or whatever. And I don't feel like you see that much very, very much in weddings anymore. So that was kind of fun. And she's got the patriotic china.
That
She's
dress,
awesome.
though, that dress, there's got to be a picture somewhere, but my birthday is on the 4th of July, so she was my mother planning my childhood birthday parties. This lady, like, not even kidding, and I swear, I had a dress at one point, probably for, like, my 4th or 5th, that looked pretty similar to that dress.
Yeah. That's awesome. Can you find that picture? We'll put it on.
I'm going to try, because there's just, like, a series of me in red, white, and blue over my life.
We'll put it on the Twitter if you find it. That would be funny. Amber, what do you think about this idea that if like the bride had been a sort of obsessed with Christmas, it would be sort of more palatable? Do you agree? Not agree?
No, I feel like it's the same. A holiday's a holiday. I want to have one with a Halloween wedding. Like, let's do this.
I don't know.
Let's
I just
celebrate traditions. I'm on board. It doesn't matter to me like what the theme of the wedding is.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it was funny and I enjoyed it.
It's because you hate the 4th of July. Everyone knows this.
No, that's false.
Wait, why?
False. She's being slander. No, I don't hate the 4th of July. I'm just so accustomed to these over-the-top Christmas people in Hallmark movies. So I think that's why it would have just felt sort of more normal to me, whereas I'm not accustomed to over-the-top 4th of July people. And so I that was just my take on it. But
yeah, I don't know. It felt fine for me, the 4th of July stuff.
Yeah.
It makes no difference to me if the girl's putting blue on her dress or putting red on her dress or putting green. Like, like it is what it is.
Yeah. There you go.
But Amy, what do you think?
I don't know. This just didn't seem that out of like unfamiliar to me at all because this was my life pretty much.
Rachel's just crazy.
So
there you go. Yeah, that's obvious. So what was the article she was writing? I was kind of confused about that. She was writing about the festival or about the company or about the fireworks display.
I thought her pitch was about pyrotechnics originally.
Yeah. And like, let's be real. She quit. Like, for real, she was terrible and she should have been fired 25 minutes ago. Like, she's the worst. And I do not believe for a second that her article about her family's business almost going out of business and then fireworks happen landing on the front page of the Chicago Tribune. Like, no.
Right.
Knock it off.
They kind of go back and forth. She's doing all these tasks for her friend to try to help with the wedding. And these feelings start growing and growing that she thought she was completely over this guy. And then, it kind of all explodes.
Okay, I just want to talk about the pushy barbecue guy. How about you get your own life, bro?
Yeah.
Right?
Explain what that is a little bit more for our listeners.
Okay, so apparently there was this barbecue restaurant that Hank and Amy used to go to all the time. And Lou, the guy who owns it, is like, oh, hey, kids, you're in love, right? And they're like, actually, no, we're just friends. And he's like, why don't I just put some love potion in your drinks, eh? Like, he was so, like, legitimately, if I had gone to a restaurant and the like owner was that ridiculous with me, I would never go back. It was like over the top, meddlesome barbecue guy, right? Right, Amy? What do you think?
Yeah, he was over the top. And also, why did they think it was a good idea to have the rehearsal dinner there? Like, if it was their spot when they were dating.
Yeah. Well, and you would think that she would have definitely had all of that, like, planned, because she was such a stickler for every last little detail, that something like, where's the rehearsal dinner going to be, would be something that would be planned.
Rehearsal dinner is technically the responsibility of the groom.
Yeah, but she would definitely make sure that it was planned, I think.
It was a quick wedding.
Yeah, how fast did they do all this? I feel like it wasn't a practical time period.
Yeah, because I don't know. I didn't. It was a little bit confusing because it was there was like some question of like, can we get her to change the dresses and stuff? And I'm like, no, you're not going to be able to get somebody to change their bridesmaids dresses within, what was it, like a week or 2 weeks or something like that? That I don't know how long this supposedly was.
I mean, I really want to let you guys, I just want to get engaged so I can have my wedding done, everything fabulous in like 7 days. And I'll be like, dab on that, haters. Like, because I feel confident that I could do it in a week.
Yeah.
Okay, see, right now, my best friend is getting married, and we're trying to get the bridesmaids' dresses. The wedding is in August, and we've been told now that we should have gotten our dresses 2 to 3 months ago because they can't get the dresses for us. So we're all like, what are we going to do? We're just going to have to go to Macy's and get prom dresses because
that's what
David's bridal is not working out.
No, there's a great Dave Barry poem about this, that he basically says that all brides should be forced to, you only have 2 weeks to plan your wedding. Because if everybody had 2 weeks, then every business would make sure that could happen in 2 weeks. You know, that's the way capitalism works. And so it would save everybody like so much headache. It would save everybody so much drama. And it is pretty amazing how fast, maybe you went after 2 weeks, but like the idea is basically like the industry would adjust to making the most money they could in that amount of time, if that became the new standard. And you kind of see that a little bit here in Utah because people are used to pretty quick engagements here, and so you can get a pretty nice wedding pretty quick here if you want.
I'm serious, Rachel. Give me 2 weeks.
Oh,
I'll spend a lot of money, but I'll do it.
Amy, since you really, really loved this movie, how did you feel about the chemistry between Meghan Markle and Christopher Jaco?
I mean, he wasn't my favorite Hallmark leading guy, but I'd never seen him in anything before, so I was like, yeah, he's okay. They could have cast someone better. Yeah. I don't know. Kind of felt like they were kids when they were together, so like,
yeah, it was fine. Feel young. I haven't ever seen him in anything else, so I had no problem in that regard either. And I actually thought that Christina Pesic, who played Sammy, I thought she was actually pretty sweet. Like she had I'm not saying she's as good as Brooke Dorsey, but she had a little bit of that, like I thought a little bit of her sort of flavor to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She did a good job. I feel like, I do feel like everybody in the cast did a good job, but I was never going to see Hank as anybody other than himself from Eureka. It just wasn't going to happen.
Fair enough. I haven't seen that show. So, yeah,
Yet.
Yes. Going to be watching it sometime this week, I think, for Rachel's Never Seen, our little series that we're doing. So, okay. Well, how many crowns would you give When Sparks Fly, Amy?
Yeah. Is it out of 5 or 10?
5.
4.
Yeah, very good. I would probably give When Sparks Fly 2.5 crowns.
Okay. I gave it 1.5 crowns.
All right, there we go. Okay.
That's why I went last, because it was the harshest.
Okay, so, and I think that Hallmark kind of knows this isn't great because they're not re-airing it this week.
Yeah.
And if they had any sort of faith in this, they would definitely be airing it this week. They have this whole Princess Marathon thing, and they're airing Dater's Handbook in there, but not this. And so I think that kind of says something about Dater's Handbook. This was 2016, and the plot for this is Cass is a successful businesswoman that appears unsuccessful in her personal life and decides to try the Dater's Handbook at her sister's encouragement and dates several guys to test the process. And so this movie, for me, I actually thought it was kind of refreshing. It's not perfect, but I feel like you don't have that many Hallmark movies that are really about dating. I feel like it's usually some form of we either dated in the past and then find each other again, or some kind of whirlwind kind of a thing. You really don't have that many of these movies that are really about sort of the mechanics of dating. And I kind of felt like it was refreshing on that level. And here she has this, she's been unlucky in love, and she dates these guys that she feels like I think she can like fix or reform or whatever. And so she reads this book, and she decides that this self-help dating guidebook thing, and she decides that she's going to try to implement all of these steps. And at the same time, she meets this character, Robert, who is played by Christopher Poloha. And he is very like spur of the moment, very, free spirit, kind of a character. And then you have Jonathan Scarfe, who plays George, who is much more like deliberate, much more like mature, kind of likes the opera, like stuff like that.
Boring.
What's that?
Boring.
Boring. But he was, in my opinion, I liked that he was actually thoughtful boring, at least. Like he tried to accommodate her, and like when he took her to the symphony, it was like one with movie scores, and he tried, I think, to think about her a little bit. Like he wasn't a jerk, that's for sure. And so she's dating these guys, and and trying to decide, does she want to go with the one that matches the book best, or match the one that she feels the most chemistry with. And I actually enjoyed this movie. I think this movie is sweet. I liked it. Amy, what was your overall thoughts about this one?
I really liked this movie because, like you said, I think it was different from the relationships they portray in other Hallmark movies. Also, I thought this was like a little risque for Hallmark because she had two boyfriends at the same time, which you don't really see. Well, I mean, you kind of see in some movies, but like she blatantly had two boyfriends at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like they were her boyfriend. Like they knew she was dating other people. Like
did they?
They were not exclusive. I think especially the Christopher Poloha character knows that they're not exclusive, and he's trying to get her to be exclusive with him, but she won't do it.
I don't know that they know that because they're like, oh, that moment when they're almost in the room at the same time, and they're like, oh, phew, we managed to pull off that heist.
Yeah, I feel like they never knew about the other one.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just didn't seem like it.
But I don't think that they thought that she was exclusively their girlfriend.
I mean, they didn't have a DTR, so it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, most people, that's how you date. Most people, you date a bunch of people, and then you decide which person you want to exclusively date, and then you date them exclusively. So I personally didn't have any problem with that. Like, to me, that was refreshing that, like, it's actually showing dating.
I didn't mind it. I just thought it was a little, like Hallmark. Wow, this girl has two boyfriends?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And she's not even, like, in a different state or anything. Like, they're both in the same location.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, kind of in these movies, they usually have two boyfriends. Let's be honest. They have, like, their boyfriend back home who does business, and then their boyfriend who they kind of almost micro cheat on their boyfriend with the whole movie.
They're not really dating. Like, I think it's different. Like, usually it's like a fiance that they're like in an exclusive relationship with, that they're like committed, and then they cheat on them, and with this with women. Like she's just dating. Like, I don't know. To me, it's different.
No, it's fine. But it is so funny. I think she is the only one to have like 3 boyfriends in a movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she had the other guy.
Yeah. Peter.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just killing it.
He seemed off to me from like the minute he walked on screen. I was like, no. No.
Also,
not you. Type of boyfriend? What boyfriend that you date for 2 years doesn't know what you're allergic to?
Yeah. An inattentive one.
Yeah.
Amber, so what was your overall thoughts about this movie?
So, this movie is a little tricky for me. Mostly just because Jonathan Scarfe is in the Work and the Glory movies, which I love, and I would recommend anyone watch them because I enjoy them a ton. But he's Joseph Smith in that, who is, the prophet of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I just he is so Joseph Smith to me that it's so weird seeing him do other things, especially being someone dating someone, because it's kind of like the Pope dating someone. So I just have a hard time when he's in movies.
The only time that I have those kind of struggles is when I'm used to a character being a voice of a character, and so all of a sudden you have this voice coming out of a different, anytime I see a Zachary Levi movie, even though I love him, it takes me a second to be like, okay, it's not Flynn Rider. It's not Flynn Rider. Because it's just weird for me to hear that voice coming out of something different, because I'm used to, but I don't know, that doesn't, I think, bother me too much.
It's just weird for me. It's he's fine, and obviously George is boring, and his name's George.
Yeah,
he was going to be boring no matter what. His parents, he didn't really have a lot of choice. But
sorry,
he's a decent guy, and he's obviously handsome, but he doesn't work for me. And so then obviously, Robert's the better choice too because they have fun together. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
Do you agree though that he at least George was considerate? He was trying to.
No, George is a good paper option.
Yeah, it makes sense that the book would be telling her to go with him, and when she's
But to be perfectly honest, if I were picking between these two guys, I would probably pick the guy who didn't take me on a date to a gym and ride on treadmills. That is not a date for me. Agreed. The treadmill date is literally my worst nightmare.
And broke my iPod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the broke my iPod thing is whatever. It's an accident. But going on a date to a gym, I would literally rather die. If some boy was like, hey, let's go on a date, let's meet up at the gym, we'll do some treading, and I was like, no, this is the end of the almost relationship, goodbye. This isn't that's not who I am as a person.
Because evidently he told her, oh, we're going on a running date, and then it was raining, so originally I guess they were going to go running somewhere. Which is
just one step above treadmill date,
yeah.
Because awful. And a running date, at least you're outside, ha ha ha. But a treadmill date, kill me.
It was.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Amy.
This was just the idea of a running date. I'm this is so LA. Yeah. Let's go to the gym. I'm every guy on Tinder in 1,000-mile radius of me is let's go hiking, let's go to the gym, let's do this. And I'm no.
And then you know what we could do? A gentle sitting around listening to music date. Sounds nice.
I would love to go to that concert where they're playing the scores and stuff. I'm all
that. Or remember his nice date of let's go see art, and she's right, with my critique, and he's I don't know that that's true, but whatever you think, because art's personal, and that's maybe a little pretentious, let's be honest, but he was so nice and encouraging.
I think that Christopher Poloha is super charming, and so he sells it, but I do agree on paper, I think that George is the more attractive option for me. And we should say Christopher Ploy, he was in Rocky Men and Christmas. And then he was also in Hearts of Christmas, which is really cute, I think. And that was a good one. And then Jonathan Scarfe, he was in Angel of Christmas and In Love on the Air. So there you go. So he's been in a couple of these. And he was also in the Christmas Solo last year on Up Channel, which was one of the better Up movies. So he's been everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was just a little bit different enough. And Meghan Markle is very charming, I think, and charismatic. And I think she had chemistry with both these guys. Like it wasn't completely obvious, like who, like, because sometimes it's just so obvious. The one guy's like a total jerk, and like the other guy is obviously like, I appreciated the fact, like in rom-coms, I generally appreciate the fact when they go to some effort to make both options nice guys. Like that's one thing I like about Sweet Home Alabama is that like both guys are like nice guys and like decent options for her. And you can see how she would be torn by the guy from the hometown and the guy from that she fell in love with in the city. So I like that. I to me, it's more boring when they're just like one's the obvious choice.
Yeah, no, it's fair. This is a decent movie, and it's just, the Work and the Glory thing. But guys, go watch The Work and the Glory. You'll love it. You'll be like, Nathan Steed is my boyfriend. Rachel gets it because she's them
too. And we've actually talked about maybe even doing an episode on them. Amy, you probably have no idea what we're talking about.
No clue.
Okay, good. That's okay. All right. So how many crowns would you give Dater's Handbook, Amy?
I'm going to go 3.5.
Very good. Amber?
I gave it 3.3.
Very good. I'm going to also give it 3.5. So there you go. We're about.
See, like, we're basically the same. It just got a 2-point deduction for, just being a thing I couldn't do. Okay,
fair enough. All right. Let's talk about last night's movie on the Lifetime channel. This is why we wanted to especially have Amy in here with us. So we had their Prince Harry and Meghan Markle movie. And
called Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance.
Yes. So this was an interesting movie. And I'm going to go last. Amy, what did you think? You're the correspondent. What was your thoughts?
Okay, so I feel like, it started out strong. The first couple minutes I was like, oh, I'm really into this. He's really like, he was like the epitome of Harry to me, and she, seemed like Meghan to me. And I was like, oh, I think this is really good. And then there were just things throughout the movie that were a little strange. And I was a little like, what? Okay, I don't think it would have happened that way. But okay. But I mean, altogether, I think they did a good job of piecing together what they knew through like press articles and stuff in real life. But just some of the comments, and also the lion representing Diana, that was kind of weird. And the mentioning of the crown, because I think they mentioned it like twice in the movie. And also like making her so stereotypical that like for breakfast in this movie, I think she twice had avocado toast. I was just a little like, okay, so they're kind of playing up stereotypes and just odd things. But other than that, it was good. I think they pieced together what we know from the outside as good as they could have.
Amber, what about you?
So I actually really liked it. I knew you hated it when I had watched it because I watched it on a recording delay with my mom, and my mom and I were like, why does she hate it so much? This is really fun. And so I don't know why you hated it, and we'll get into that, I guess. Spoiler alert, you guys, Rachel hated it. But I really liked it. I thought it was pretty fun. I thought they had really good chemistry. I thought the casting was pretty good. The girl they have playing Meghan, Parisa Fitz-Henley, sounds almost exactly like Meghan Markle. It was crazy. I was like, way to sound exactly like her. Most of the other casting was fine. I don't think they've ever seen Prince Charles in their lives. It was like that guy was not even close. But like, the Camilla was really good. I was like, whoa, Camilla. And Burgess Abernethy, aka Zane from H2O, was being Prince William, and I was dead. Like, the minute he came on the screen, I was like, oh, it's Zane! It's Zane! Oh my gosh, it's Zane! You guys, it's Zane! And my mom was like, who is Zane? And I was like, you don't even know. He's from H2O, just had water. He's Zane. It was amazing. He's
all grown up. I was like, he's all grown up. I was like, wow. Also, he's Australian, not British, right?
Yeah, but he did fine. He did fine.
Yeah.
But I love him, so it was great.
There you go. Okay, I thought this movie was terrible. I do think that the casting of the two leads was really spot on. That's the one thing I will give it. But my problem with this movie, I think it took itself way too seriously. Like, this is just supposed to be just like a fluffy movie about a girl marrying a prince. And I like the lion being Diana, which as soon as that happened, I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And like they they decided that they were going to make Meghan Markle be like the most empowered human being on the planet, that nobody else was going to even come close to her. Because so what their solution, because you have Kate Middleton, who from all accounts is a lovely person.
Yeah.
And like, and even Diana, like, basically have to be lowered in order to puff up Meghan Markle as just this like crusader, the most amazing person. And like, I just couldn't believe that that Kate Middleton is like presented as this like catty, judgmental, like she's the one bringing up like, well, they're going to judge her for not being a member of the royal court, and they're going to judge her for being mixed race. And I'm like, of all the human beings in that family that's going to be bringing that up, I really don't think it's going to be Kate Middleton.
The thing that was, yeah, I have to agree with you. It was so funny because they were like, not only were they making like William and Kate not nice people, they were also like decided to make Prince Charles like the strongest, most forward-thinking, empowered man in the universe. Like, Prince Charles, I don't know anything about Prince Charles other than what I think, but I'm like, that is not what I think of when I think Prince Charles.
And because they were taking it so seriously, to me, the script was just laughable. If it was just a fluffy movie, then I wouldn't care as much that the script was laughable. But they wanted you to take this thing very seriously, in my opinion. And like, I wrote down some of the quotes. Like, I love them. She's like, can't be throwing around opinions and endorse Italian wine willy-nilly. When she says that, when
I thought that was the cousin who said that,
no.
Annabella.
Yeah, no, I know. And when they're like, Harry says, your lot needs to start listening. And then later, Kate says, us commoners need to stick together. I mean, poor Pippa's wedding. Like, who knew that it was such a...
Also, okay, like, I know they're trying to be like, man, Kate Middleton, what a commoner. And I'm like, Kate Middleton was like incredibly wealthy. Like, she went to the same school as Prince William. She was doing fine. She's not like trash off the street.
They were trying to like supposedly paint this picture of Kate Middleton as this like practically this kept woman who was just there to like produce children for William. Like, it's like, what? Like, everything I have ever read about her is that she is just a lovely person, and that she like, this is just ridiculous. And like, I thought it was so ridiculous when Harry says to Camilla and Charles, you should have been together from the start. Yeah, right. If we're going to say that, I mean, there's no way he would say that about with his mother. Like, there's no way. And then when Charles...
Well, I mean, in this movie, to be fair, Prince Harry freaking hates Diana. So...
ridiculous. And when Charles says Canada's one thing, mother's on the currency there. He moved to California for this woman. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so bad.
Hashtag filmed in Toronto.
I mean, yeah, the Pippa's wedding was the worst to me. I just couldn't believe that, like, you supposedly had Harry, like, getting into some kind of war of words with this woman who's wearing this brooch, and that like the brooch is like a real there is a member of the royal family who wears these brooches and is I think her name is Princess Michael or Michelle or something like that. Anyway, I was reading up on it, but like I don't think he's like calling her out in the middle of a family wedding, and I just thought that was so ridiculous. And I thought the whole scene where she's like rushing to the airport to like to catch the prince was so ridiculous, and like her painted as this like feminist icon and don't put me in your white ivory tower, dude. You know, like what? I mean, from everything that I've ever heard from them in interviews with them, she was very touched by the fact that Harry stood up for her and that Harry wrote that letter. She's not all like, I'm breaking up with you. You're a horrible person.
Rachel, what you need to realize though is this is a movie. This is not.
No, but they wanted you to take it seriously. I completely believe with all the cinematography, the way that it was all packaged was all meant to be this like female empowerment, and it wasn't just like, I don't know, like another Cinderella story movie or like these royal movies. They wanted this thing to be like empowering and like dramatic. And so like if they're gonna want it to be empowering and dramatic, then I'm gonna hold them to that standard. And it was not at that standard. It was ridiculous. And like I feel and also like yeah, I love the fact like we're supposed to believe that the Queen of England sitting down with Meghan Markle and Harry is like, do you act in that Crown show?
But the thing is, there's interviews saying that most of the royal family has watched it.
Yeah. But I don't think she's making that part of her like first interview. Like that's just so ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
you know, I would believe that. Like she wouldn't. I think she would probably already know. She wouldn't have to ask her.
Yeah.
But like it's
was
legitimately a thing where people have like watched. They know that the Queen and the royal family watched The Crown, and they were like, "Oh, it's fine."
I thought it was completely ridiculous, and also like technically her hairdresser who first thinks she's dating Michael Jackson's son, and then it's like, oh, you've seen The Crown.
Isn't Michael Jackson's son like 22?
Yeah, right.
And she's 36?
He has two. I don't know how old they are.
And the scene where the lion is like matching their mating. Oh my gosh, that was
Rachel. I don't know if have you heard of this thing called creative license? Like
like, don't expect me to take your movie seriously if you're gonna have this lion appear.
I don't know why you were trying to take it seriously. It was just for fun.
No, it was not. It
was for fun. Just because you think that they were trying to do something doesn't mean that they were.
I completely disagree. I think they were trying to make this feminist empowerment piece, and it was terrible. I just thought it was laughable. I was cracking up. And the best entertainment of it all was just following Twitter, and all the people making fun of it was hilarious. But yeah, really the only positive thing I have about this is the two leads I thought were actually pretty good. But other than that, I thought it was terrible. So
Prince Jackson, Michael Jackson's son, is 16. He was born in 2002.
No, but that's Blanket. How old is the other one?
The other one? Oh, Michael Joseph age. I think he was born in 96 or 97.
But the thing that's funny is that The Crown hadn't even aired at that point, which is kind of funny.
Yes, it had. It was late 2016.
When they had just started dating, no. And I don't know.
When did they start dating, Rachel?
What's that?
When did they start dating?
At the very beginning of that year, not at the end when The Crown aired.
Of 2016? They started dating in the beginning of 2016?
Yes.
Well, so like when Dater's Handbook aired?
Yes, I know this is a fact because I saw an interview with Christopher Palau, and he said that he knew or whatever, that like she had started dating Prince Harry a month after that they finished filming that movie. And money on this. That is one thing I will say. There were some pretty shots of them in Africa. and they had a CGI lion, but it didn't look that bad. It looked fine. I don't know, Amy, was there anything else that you either liked or didn't like about it?
That lion. But that lion, I was just like I get it, because sometimes like relatives, when they pass away, you're like, oh, there's something that reminds you of them. Like, I understand that, but just the lion thing, like, it was weird. And also, like, I want to see the statistics on what person comes face to face with a lion in the wild twice in their life. Like,
to be fair, it's probably a higher average if you are on a lion sanctuary.
Yeah, they're not doing a very good job protecting the Prince of England.
Like, it's fine. Like, I don't understand why you guys can't just be like, oh, it's fine, if they decide to do this silly thing.
I mean, it's a movie. It was silly, but I was just like, why? Why this? Like, what makes? I mean, I guess because like Diana was supposed to be a fierce woman, and like, I think they were trying
because he was 12 and he was sad, and he was like, oh, maybe it's my mom.
I don't think that they wanted it to be silly. I think they wanted this to be like gravitas of like the lion symbolizing like I don't. To me, that was the fatal flaw of this movie, is that they took it very seriously, and they should have just had it be a fluffy, fun movie. But yeah, the lion was just, and so evidently Diana is possessed by the lion basically to like protect Harry supposedly, and then to make sure he gets laid. Like, that's like her job.
Don't say that word, Rachel. It's not refined. Also, this was definitely the Lifetime Harry and Meghan.
Yes. Because I was like, oh, they're in bed together. They're not married. This is Lifetime.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I look forward to the Hallmark movie where they have like separate tents.
Yeah.
That's more my speed.
Amy, how many crowns would you give this?
I didn't hate it. I liked it, but I didn't hate it. So I'm going to go with a 3.
Okay, good. Amber?
I'm giving it 3 3/4 crowns. Except for we don't do crowns, so these are just stars. This is This is Lifetime. It doesn't get crowns.
I will give this 1 star, because they at least got. I thought the 2 leads were good, but that and they had some nice panning helicopter shots that looked nice. But pretty much I was just laughing at it the whole time because it was so ridiculous. So hopefully Hallmark will make a better movie. We'll see. But there you go. So we've got our 3 movies with Meghan Markle. And are you excited, Amy, for the wedding? Are you going to wake up early and watch it, or?
Yes, I am so excited. It's on Saturday, right?
Yes.
Saturday morning. Yes, mm-hmm. I am so excited. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Oh, I skipped school to watch William and Kate's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Amber, are you excited?
Yeah, 100%. I'm very excited. And I'm also excited we're going to have another one in October.
What's the one in October? I didn't even know.
Princess Eugenie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
no.
Girl,
I know.
I don't think they're going to make a wedding movie for her on Hallmark, but I really want them to. Why wouldn't you?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I want to.
Hey. Is that Fergie's daughter?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Like, why wouldn't you make a movie about that?
You could probably get Fergie to be in them.
For real. And the whole family would be like, Fergie, why don't you ever stop doing things we don't want you to do? It'd be amazing.
Yeah. I really enjoyed William and Kate's wedding. It was during a time I was struggling with a lot, and I had a party. My friends all came over. We watched it on delay. We didn't watch it late, early in the morning, but we all made hats, and all my friends are all busy this year, so I'm not doing something like that, but I'm still looking forward to watching it. And and seeing all the fascinators. That's always fun. And some of the British fashion and all of that. So there you go. That's awesome. Meghan Markle getting married to a prince. Pretty exciting.
I am so excited. We're going to talk about the wedding on next week, right? On the podcast?
Yeah. We'll be talking about Royally Ever After and also the royal wedding. So it'll be really fun. And and so let us know what you guys think of these 3 movies. And are you excited about the royal wedding? Let us know in comments or on Twitter or wherever. We would really appreciate it. And Amy, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr at It's Amy Craig. And then you can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/weekendallstars. And that's it.
Great. Amber, where can people find you?
As always, I'm at Amber Brainwaves on Twitter, and that's it.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and on YouTube. I've been doing a lot of fun stuff over on my channel. I'd love for you to check that out. And make sure you're following Hallmarkies podcast on Twitter and other social media. And we're also on iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube. And we really love if you give us your ratings and reviews on iTunes. It's very helpful to us. So if you have a minute, we would be very grateful. And so, yeah, thanks so much. And look forward to this week. We will be talking about The Good Witch. And yeah, this weekend we have Royally Ever After on the Hallmark Channel. And make sure that you check out our interview with Lee Friedlander, the director of Royally Ever After, that we posted on Monday. Make sure you listen to that because it was really fun. She was a very fun lady. So we had a great time with that. So thanks so much, and we will talk to you all next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.